What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Well, it's winter time up here in Maryland. We're about to be in February. It's been a rough winter for me. If you guys been following my channel, you see I've been trying to go out, trying to catch a few fish, put a video together for you guys. Just show you my tactics that I'm going through as far as catching fish in the winter. I went out 4 times and I got skunked 4 times in a row, okay? It hurt my soul, okay? You understand? But that's part of winter fishing. Believe it or not, it's a tough time. These fish can literally shut down. Water temps out here are sitting in the high 30s, low 40s each time I've been out. Out of all the winter baits out there, I will say that there's one bait that stands out to me that's been helping me out as far as catching, the few fish that I have caught this winter, and that's a jig. Not saying that the jig's caught me 20, 30 fish, but it has caught me fish this winter. So today I want to give you guys my top 3 jig fishing rod setups. What these things could be for beginners. Each one of these setups are about around $100. That's rod, reel, and line included, maybe a little over 100 for one of them. That price point can get way up there as far as rod, reel combos. But I'm just giving you guys the basics, like I said, what's been working for me this winter and what can work for you guys across the country if you would decide to get out there and do a little winter fishing. Now, I'm not going to give you guys a super detailed video as far as each jig, each type of jig. That can go on for a little while. If you guys want a video like that, I can definitely make that happen. Just leave a comment down below, let me know. I'm just going to show you my 3 rod setups that I have, and give you a quick synopsis as far as why I have them tied up, how I have them tied up. Like I said, just a quick synopsis on that rod and reel setup. This first one here, I'm going to go with the big boy, I guess you should say. So right here, this is a 7'4" heavy action casting rod, pair G2. If you guys can see that behind that jig, pair G2. Great rod, very stout. And this is paired with a 7-0 gear ratio, Royal Legend by Cast King. Great reel. And that right there is 50-pound braided line. Right here, this is a black and blue jig by Strike King with a Zoom Super Trunk trailer. And I ran this straight braid. So this setup right here, I'm gonna say this is my go-to, super muddy water setup. When I say muddy, you guys, if you see, like I said, if you've been following my channel, you see where I fish out here in Maryland, out here in Potomac. 9 times out of 10, this is stained muddy water. Especially when it rains, it just gets bad. We're talking about maybe 4-inch visibility, if not less. A black and blue jig will disappear. Okay, but right here, like I said, this Strike King jig here, if you can hear it, has a little rattle in it. I definitely love using that. It gives us fish, something to hone in on. But like I said, this 7'4" heavy action, 50-pound braided line, 7-0 gear ratio, Cast King reel. This is my go-to, like I said, come muddy water time. I don't necessarily care about the braid. When I say don't care, meaning in that muddy water, it won't matter, okay? So, black and blue, braided, 7'4", heavy action. Great for the, year-round muddy water situations, okay? So rod setup number 2, okay? Again, as you can see, black and blue jig with a knocker in it, little rattle in it by Strike King. So this setup here, 7-foot medium heavy action. Again, a 7-0 ratio, Cast King reel, Royal Legend. Gotta love it, great reel. Now this here is a 20-pound braided line to a 17-pound fluorocarbon leader. Now, situations that I'll throw this in. Let's say you have stained water, right? We're talking about maybe a foot of visibility. Foot, maybe a 2-foot max. I still like the sensitivity that braid gives you, right? But I want a fluorocarbon leader just so that fish doesn't have a chance of seeing the line, okay? Something like this is also great for, let's say if you're, fishing a point or fishing some brush further down, 20, 23 feet deep, you can cast this out and you can fill everything with that braid as well as keep yourself stealth-wise. Like I said, stained water, so you give a good presentation, but as far as line-wise, you keep it nice and stealth. Like I said, this 20-pound braid to this fluorocarbon leader will be with a Alberto knot. If you guys want me to show you a video how to do that, you guys let me know in the comment section below. And yes, you can still flip and pitch with this stained water. Like I said, I apologize for talking so much about stained water. I do have one more setup for you clear water guys. Like I said, got the knock with it. Nice big presentation. Same thing with the heavy action. You got a nice big presentation with the Zoom Super Chunk. Now, don't get me wrong, you can pull some fish out with the medium heavy action out of some cover. Like I said, but I'd rather make it easier on myself with the heavy action rod here. You could pull out a 3-pound fish. Let's say you're in some grass. You're gonna bring 20, 30 pounds of grass with you. So you definitely want that heavy action rod with you. As far as medium heavy, like you guys know me, it's my go-to go-to power. Again, each one of my setups are around $100. Like I said, it's an ENT Sport rod. Sorry if I didn't mention that earlier. ENT Sport rod, medium heavy action, 7 foot, 7/0 gear ratio, Royal Legend Cast King reel. Nice Strike King jig with a rattle there, the Pro Model jig series. Can't go wrong with it. Now my third rod setup here, I mean, I know I got a Texas rig, Ragetail Creature Bug here, but I'll definitely tie on a jig to this. And this is, as you can see, straight floral, okay? That's straight 20-pound floral. You guys can see that. This right here is a 7 foot medium heavy action, Para G2 by Cast King rod. Again, great backbone, nice bend to it, great action rod, loads up really well. Again, this is another, as you guys see, I do like Cast King. Cast King's done me well. 7/0, another Royal Legend. 7/0 gear ratio, like I said. This is 20-pound fluorocarbon line. Now, like I said, I know it's a Ragetail Creature Bug one here, but I will tie on a jig with this. When you get into clear water situations where you got 2 feet plus visibility, I definitely want to go fluorocarbon. I'm not saying 20-pound fluorocarbon is, you know, invisible or anything like that. You can probably get away with 15, no problem, okay? But I will be flipping and pitching this in clear water, or even, you know, once you go deep kind of thing, 20, 30 feet deep or more, I'll definitely be using straight fluorocarbon. Personally, what I do, you can get away with using fluorocarbon, let's say if you're fishing 20, 30 feet deep. What I will recommend is, where we at? Right here, this is a jig, this jig here, I will recommend, this is a Beast Coast Customs jig, black and blue. Again, I like black and blue. I do have a green pumpkin for a clear water situation. As you see, it does a lot of dragging. What I like about Beast Coast jigs here, these are tungsten heads, okay? Both tungsten heads, football jigs. I'll throw these out 20, 30 feet deep, and as you can see, this is a brand new one, but dragging along. With these tungsten heads, like, you gotta do a lot of dragging with this, but you can get a lot better feel of that bottom contour using tungsten heads. Like I said, that's the reason that you can get away with it on fluorocarbon line. Like I said, it doesn't have to be 20-pound. You can get away with 15, 17, it's all up to you. Reason I chose a stronger line, let's say you make a nice long cast and let that bait sink all the way down to the bottom. Let's say that fish bites it on that long cast. You want a nice stout rod, strong line to hoist that fish in from a long distance. Sometimes these bites are so subtle in the wintertime, you barely feel it. You'll feel, sometimes you'll just feel weight set the hook. You might lose a jig here and there, you know, maybe in some brush, but 9 times out of 10, these bites aren't gonna be as vicious as, you know, summer, spring bite kind of thing. Winter times is the time to go get one of your biggest bass. Those big girls are sitting at the bottom, waiting on that springtime, especially on secondary points. Definitely you want to just drag a football jig across, drag something nice and chunky across, very slow, methodic. Like I said, you see I have 2 with braid on it and 1 with floral, and I'll throw that, like I said, with a tungsten head for the feel, or like I said, if you got a little stain, you can still go back to the braid, maybe with the leader. It's all your preference, but I'm gonna give you guys my 3 jig rod setups that have been working for me. The one setup that I did not include in this list, which will be a 4th setup. I don't have it set up at this moment, but a finesse football head jig, which technically that's what these are, by Beast Coast. You see the little ladder wire hook there. Not saying you can't, you know, hoist a big fish with this, okay? Because like I said, they are very lethargic, very slow. You might get 10 seconds of you know, running at them, then they're done. Their energy level is low. They eat maybe once or twice a day, especially out here in Potomac. They might just shut down completely, maybe 1 meal in a day, you know. So don't be afraid to throw that light wire hook. Like I said, Beast Coast makes a great jig. Don't get me wrong. I did pick up a few more Strike King jigs. Again, got the knocker, like I said. The one setup that, like I said, I didn't mention, you'll get a finesse style football head jig. You can set it up on a spinning rod. Normally my spinning rod, I'll run 20-pound braid to about a 10-pound leader, and literally just drag this thing across. Just literally drag it across. This right here is a Ragetail Baby Menace. So very subtle action down there. and you're literally just dragging that across the bottom. Now don't get me wrong, I will throw some in a little more natural color. Same Rage Tail Baby Menace grub here in the back. Or if you, like I said, if you want to have a little bigger presentation in that clearer water, I'll definitely throw something like this out. Little green pumpkin color, almost mimicking, you know, bluegill patterns. Like I said, so far this winter, jig has been my bait that's actually pulled in, you know, good, decent fish. Don't get me wrong, I've caught some on a drop shot. I've caught something on a jerk bait before, but the bigger fish that I've caught this winter have been on a jig. So just giving you guys my top 3 setups for jig fishing. These 3 setups here can definitely work for you guys year round, across the country, whether it's pitching, flipping, dragging deep, letting that thing just kind of melt right there on the bottom, especially if you have something like this. Fish sticks, crawfish scent, rub that on the trailer just a little bit. Let that thing dead stick a certain, you know, especially if you found, you know, a couple fish sitting there on the bottom. Just let it dead stick sometimes. They'll go over and investigate, smell that scent, pick it right up. But again, that's, like I said, guys, that's my top 3 setups for jig fishing. Hopefully this video, you know, help you guys out, maybe try something new. Or if you have someone you're introducing to jig fishing. Each one of these rod and reel setups are literally $100, maybe $120 max, including line. Can't go wrong with them. You know, if you gotta, you know, if you want to buy a gift, you know, a gift for somebody, those rods can be used for, you know, other purposes, of course. Not just strictly jig fishing. As you see, I had a Texas rig on the medium heavy action one. But that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully this weekend I maybe get a video together, you guys, you know, putting some fish in the boat, using the jig or other baits that I have for winter. And hopefully I can show you guys, you know, what tactics I've been using out there. It's been brutal out here in Maryland. We're talking about one day is 50, next day you're down in the teens. Next day it's back to 50. Next day you're down in single digits. Like tomorrow's gonna be single digits with ice all over the roads. So I'll try to do my best, you know, keep you guys a video coming each week. Regardless of the conditions, I'll definitely be out there trying. Regardless if I get skunked, hopefully I can teach you guys something, or teach you guys what not to do in certain situations. Yes, I know that's not all types of jigs that are out on the market. Besides football, besides pitching jigs, you got arcade head jigs. You have swim jigs. It's a whole array of things that you could, you know, that you can literally have a nice long talk about as far as video wise. Which, like I said, can be another day if you want. Just leave me a comment down below what you guys want to talk about, and I'll try my best to get a video out about your questions or things you may have to talk about. Try to get a video out to you guys as soon as possible on that. Again, if you guys got any questions, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you guys don't mind, share this video on Facebook or with a friend. If you have someone who's thinking about buying a new rod for jig fishing, I just gave you 3 separate setups that literally around $100 and definitely get the job done. Like I said, yes, I know, you know, a jig fishing rod can definitely get super expensive, you know, once you get into the higher name brands kind of thing. But this is just basic beginner setup. If you want to, like I said, jig fishing, or if you want to use, like I said, one of these medium heavy actions, that could be a very versatile rod and reel combo to have. Definitely check it out. I do appreciate you guys watching. If you can get this video a thumbs up, I greatly appreciate it. If you can subscribe to the channel if you like fishing reviews, fishing tips, techniques, things like that, then please, by all means, feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's totally free. I'll definitely see you guys next time. Take care.